students. In this session, let us start discussion with the module 2. So module 2, we will be discussing about the various surveys that is conducted to collect some of the data which is required for the design of traffic facilities. The traffic engineering studies are carried out for collecting the traffic data, so that we call it as the traffic surveys. So this traffic survey data are collected to analyze what as the characteristics of traffic and also the results what we get out of these studies, so that will be used for the geometric designs of traffic features, and also these studies helpful for us to take some of the necessity control actions for the safe and efficient traffic movement. Some of these studies which are generally carried out to assess the characteristics of traffic that includes traffic volume studies, spot speed studies, speed and delay studies, origin destination studies, parking study, and the studies related to the accidents. So these are only some of the studies which will be helpful for understanding the characteristics of traffic, and using these data we can design some of the facilities which respects to the traffic, and which is helpful for the safe and efficient operation of the traffic movement. So out of which the first studies what we have is the traffic volume study. So as the name indicate, what is the volume? Volume is nothing but the number of vehicles. So first, when you design any facilities, we should thoroughly understand what is the number of vehicles that are going to use any particular facilities. That can be the road stretch, or it can be an intersection, flyover, underpass, anything. So when you design such facilities which is for the traffic operation, we should have the data related to the what is the number of vehicles that are expected in that particular place where the upgradation or the facility is being constructed. Okay, so now here with respect to the traffic studies, we have one thing called the classified volume studies. So now here I've already told you we are collecting the details about what is the total number of vehicle expected in that particular place. But in India, we are having mixed traffic condition. So where all category of vehicles, for example, starting from your two-wheelers, cars, buses, LCVs, XCVs, all the vehicles will be traveling on the one single road stretch. Okay, so in such type of traffic we call it as the mixed traffic condition. So in the developing countries like India, where the mixed traffic condition exists, so here what we have to go for, we have to collect the classified volume study. So that indicates that you should have a details upon what is the number of vehicle under each and every category. For example, if you are taking two-wheelers, so in that particular road stretch, how many number of two-wheelers you have, how many numbers of car, buses, LCVs, LCV, XUVs. So thus you need to first classify your vehicles, and you have to collect the details upon the number of vehicles under each category. So collecting the details of such classified vehicles, number of classified vehicles, that we call it as the classified volume studies. Okay, so usually the traffic volume studies will be expressed in terms of vehicles per day, or we can also express in terms of vehicles per hour. So this is the unit in which you will represent the traffic volume. What is the number of vehicles that are traveling in the particular stretch per day, or number of vehicles that are traveling in the particular hour. So as a representation. Okay, the unit of traffic volume studies. So next is the methods, how to collect the details about the traffic volume. So there are two methods of collecting the traffic volume studies. The first one is the manual count. So here the studies will be conducted with the help of the manuals. Okay, so survey crew will be there, the persons will be there, that they will collect the details. The second one is the automatic counts. Okay, here some of the instruments are there which will automatically take the details about the traffic volume. So first, and before moving to the how the studies are conducted, the first we'll understand what are the objectives. Objectives or the necessity of conducting the traffic volume studies. The first thing is to decide the priority of upgradation of any facilities. Okay, so if you want to construct any facilities, okay, so you have 4 road stretches. You need to go for the upgradation of those 4 facilities, okay, or 4 intersection where the upgradation has to go. So depending upon the stretch where the traffic volume is more, so that particular road stretch is taken first for the improvement purpose. So like that, depending upon how the number of vehicles are there in particular road stretch, you can plan for which has to be taken first for the development or implementation work. And also it will be used for the geometric designs and design of various roadway facilities. For example, design of intersection, design of flyovers, underpass, all those things, the design will be based upon the traffic volumes. And also we can understand how the traffic pattern trend is there in the particular city. Again, for example, in the Bangalore city, how the traffic volume is varying, what is the rate of growth of traffic of each category of vehicles. So now you can say, when you consider Bangalore city, what traffic we had 2-3 years back, it's not need not to be the same today. So now for every year, how the traffic volume is changing. And also we have various facilities, public transportation facilities are there. And also the cars, so now how many car users, how many number of cars have increased from past 2 years. So to understand the trend in traffic growth, because the trend in traffic growth influence very much upon the what is the facilities that need to be constructed. If many number of people are using their personal vehicles like car, maybe what is the sufficient road, what is available for us now, that may not be sufficient. We need to go for the upgradation of the road facilities. And also if the number of person that they are traveling in the metro, if it has increased, we need to add up the metro lanes, the frequency of the metros, that has to be altered. So like that, depending upon the what is the traffic trend and rate of growth of vehicles, you can decide how the facilities can be upgraded. And we can compute the roadway capacity, and also traffic volume studies will be helpful in the traffic regulatory measures. So one of the traffic regulatory measures includes the providing the one-way streets. So where the traffic volume exceeds, you can close one road. Okay, in cities like Bangalore, you might have seen most of the road stretch within the city. So morning one street will be open, whereas the evening one-way movement will be prohibited. So like that, with the help of these studies, we can have the traffic regulatory measures. And also we can plan for the traffic operation and controlling of the existing facilities. Controlling in the sense, maybe whenever you have an intersection, you can change the timings in the intersection so that the traffic control devices will work efficiently. And if require any new facilities, you can plan and you can design it depending upon the available data. And also the turning moment, the intersection can be well understood with the help of the traffic studies. And also that can be used for the structural design of the strengthening of pavement. So when we construct the pavements, what is the thickness of pavement you provide. So thickness of pavement will depend upon the number of vehicles that are moving on the road. So these traffic volume data, using this you can design what is the pavement thickness that is required for you. So these are some of the necessities of conducting the traffic volume studies. So next, the methods that are there in the traffic volume studies. The first method is what you have, the manual counting. The second method is the automatic counting. So within the manual counting, we have two types. One is the direct counting method. The second one is the indirect. And in the contact tube method, we have the methods summarized under the contact system and the contactless system. So we'll study one by one the ways studies that are involved. The first one is the manual count method. So why the what is the purpose of conducting the traffic volume studies? So we need to find out what is the number of vehicles that are there in the particular road section. So for example, in this take, I'll take this is my road connecting between point A and point B. So you have to determine what is the traffic volume in this particular road. So what you just have to do is a surveyor has to stand at one particular reference point. He just have to count all the number of vehicle which passes in front of him. That's it. It's just physically you're counting down the number of vehicles that are there in particular point. Okay. So now here, but when you count the vehicles, what is actually required for us? We require classified volume count. So but since we required as classified volume count, a surveyor has to count what is the number of vehicles under each and every category. For example, how many bikes are passing in front of him, how many, I mean the two-wheelers, how many cars are passing, how many buses are there passing in front of him. So all those details about each and every category of the vehicles has to be counted. Okay, so now usually what we'll do is we'll count the details about the 10 to 15 minutes. The data sheets will be there. So we will split up the time into the intervals of 10 to 15 minutes. So he has to enter what is the number of vehicles that are passing the particular point in 10 to 15 minutes time. So I'll show log sheet which is used to conduct the traffic volume studies. I hope you can see this. So here the what data you will collect in the traffic volume studies, that will be entered here in the log form. Okay, so first we have to write down what is the name of the surveyor, ABC. So who is the person who is conducting the studies, we call him as a surveyor. What is the name, what is the name of the road, the direction. For example, you are having a Bangalore-Mysore road, so direction from Bangalore to Mysore, that we have to write. Okay, and what is the time of conducting the date and the time of the conduction of the survey, all those data is to be recorded here. Okay, and next is we can see here, first we have to note down what is the hour counted. Okay, what is the time interval you are conducting the survey. For example, if you are conducting the survey from 9 to 9:15, that time has to be written here, and then here 9:15 to 9:30. So like that, what is the timing? Note down the every 15-minute intervals, write down. So now here when the vehicles pass us, if at that 9 o'clock, if any truck passes, so usually when you count the method, you cannot just count 1, 2, 3, 4. You will miss the data. Since you are having a hold on, you need to take the details about each and every category of vehicle. Don't count 1, 2, 3. So instead of that, we will use the tally. If any what is this tally? I hope you know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the tally counts. Okay. So as soon as if you see any two-wheelers there, okay, so just where you have the two-wheeler motorcycle, just press 1. Car, like this, you need to, as soon as you see any category of the vehicles, so that need to be marked here on the sheet with the help of tally counts. Okay, so like this you will collect the details about the number of vehicles that are passing the any particular point in a road section. Okay, usually when the traffic volume data is collected, so preferably if you are taking vehicles per, so we know that the unit is vehicles per hour or vehicles per day. So usually when the traffic data is collected, the survey has to be conducted throughout the day. Entire day details we need to collect. I mean to say that the traffic volume data has to be taken for 24 hours covering 7 weeks in a 365 days. So usually to have a detailed, the accuracy in the data what you have collected, so we need to collect the detail about it throughout the year. For entire 24 hours data has to be available. But counting the number of vehicle or manually conducting the survey is very, very tedious job. Okay, data, how the manual counts will be done. We do have some certain advantages, and I will look into what all the advantages and disadvantages. So when you conduct the manual counting, we will get the details about the classified volume counts can we get, and also we'll get the details about how many occupants are there in each and every category of the vehicles. So along with the number of vehicles, if you are conducting the survey at the intersection, we can also have the details about the turning movements of the vehicle at the intersection. And also we can analyze the traffic characteristic in adverse condition, if any breakdowns, temporary closure of any highways, that can be noted on physically there. And also this method is comparatively cheaper when it compares to the another arithmetic counting. So data accumulation accumulated by manual counting analysis is easy, and do this here with the manual counting method. The major disadvantages is, as I told you, it is difficult for you to take the 24 hours data, and throughout the year conducting the survey manually, it's quite a difficult job. And counts at the remote places is possible only with the help of the automatic devices. Maybe people may the surveyors may not, it may not be possible for the surveyors to go and do the survey at the remote area. So such places you can go for the use of automatic devices. So what drawback we have here in the manual method, that is overcome by the certain disadvantage counting methods. Okay, so these automatic counting methods, so we will have some equipments which are specialized for that. Okay, so those equipments will records the number of vehicles as soon as you pass that. Okay, so here we have the two methods. Okay, the one of the major advantages is you can have the details about 24 hours details, and you can also get the details about the peak hour time, and you can conduct the survey for the entire year. The data can be collected. So the methods that are there we have is the contact system, and the second one is the contactless system. So in the contact system, so there we will have some of the instruments. It will records the number of vehicle as soon as the vehicles will come in contact with the equipments. The second one is the equipments and the machine contacts will not be there. So some of the methods that are included is contact system or pneumatic tube methods, mechanical and the magnetic method. The contactless system can be the electrical, optical or ultrasound infrared radar system, microwave or the CCTV video recording images process, etc. So some of the methods involved in the automatic counts. Discuss one by one. The first one is the pneumatic road tube. Okay, so we are now discussing about the vehicle volume studies with the help of pneumatic road tube. So what is the purpose? So why we are conducting the volume studies, we need to know what is the total number of vehicles that are passing the road stretch. Okay, so in the pneumatic road, in the place where you need to get the details about the traffic volumes, so what you have to do is the pneumatic tubes are placed here. So what are these pneumatic tubes? So pneumatic tubes are small tubes. So I hope you can see this. These tubes are there. Okay. So these tubes will send a signal that will be connected to the automatic counting machines. Okay. So now what will happen when the vehicle passes the first pneumatic tube here? When the vehicle, so usually how the wheel load configuration we will have in any vehicle, you will have front wheels. Okay, the front wheel, and second we will have the rear wheels. So when the front two wheels passes the first pneumatic tube, so what will happen, it will send a signals that the one vehicle. Okay, and as soon as the one set of axles, okay, so that means that if two wheels passes, that taken as the record as one vehicle. The passage of the two axles will be counted as one vehicle. So like that, as soon as the vehicle passes the pneumatic two axles, so the front axle, rear axle, as the two axles passes the pneumatic down, it will be recorded as the one vehicle. Okay, so like that, the passage of each and every vehicles can be recorded here with the help of the pneumatic tubes. Okay, so these are all nothing but the rubber tubes. Okay, and the DC tube is here. is you cannot have the classified volume count here. So it will just count the number of vehicle passing. We may not be knowing what is the category of that vehicle, whether it is the cars, buses, trucks. So we cannot have this classified volume count here. The second disadvantage is here usually the air pulses will be pressure will be created. Air, with the help of that pressure what is created, that will activate this automated counters. Okay, but some of the vehicles, the pressure developed will not be sufficient to send the impulses to the automatic record counter. So you will miss the details about such vehicles. And also if two vehicles passes at the same time, that will be counted as only one vehicle. Okay, so these are, but advantages is you can have a continuous data throughout the year. The survey can be conducted. This using the pneumatic. So second is the bending plate method. It is similar to the what pneumatic tubes we have, but here the bending plates will be having. So it is a metal plate embedded in the road to measure the axle weight. So here, along with the number of vehicles, we can have the details about what is the axle weight. Okay, so usually I think you might have seen the weigh bridges. Okay, weigh bridges, what will happen, that works with the same principle, bending plates. So here when the vehicles passes on this bending plate, it will record the what is the axle weight also. Okay, it will first identify the vehicle, and also the axle weight of the vehicles will be recorded. I hope you can see the wires here. So this will be connected with the recording units. Okay, so when the vehicles passes, we can have the details about the axle weight. So now, depending upon the axle weight, we can guess what is the type of vehicles, because each and every category of this vehicle will be carrying a different weight. For example, the two-wheelers and cars. So when you compare, two-wheelers just carry 2%, whereas the car that can carry 5 to 9 persons. Okay, and again the buses, so it can carry the number of buses, and also LCV, XUVs. Each and every category of the vehicles will having a capability to carry the different weight. So depending upon the what is the axle weight that is noted out, you can identify which category of vehicle it belongs to. Okay, so the drawback what we had in the pneumatic tube, it was not possible for you to classify the vehicles. That was overcome with the bending. Using the axle weight, you can identify which type of vehicle it is. Okay, so here the recording units, what has been recorded, that has brought to office, connect to the system, and you can get it, extract the data from it, and you can identify the what is the traffic for. So, and the last place method of vehicle counting is by video camera method. Okay, so usually we will have the CC camera now everywhere. So now here in this method, it's a very simplest method. So what we can do is, so this is my road where I need to conduct the road traffic volume studies has to be conducted. So identify one place, elevated place. Okay, so that you can trace the movement of, you can see the movement of vehicle. So on that such elevated place, you should have your video camera recording. Okay, fix up one video camera recording. Okay, so then switch it on and leave it. Okay, that will record the passage of each and every vehicle. So then what you have to do is go back to your office and play that video, and you can note down what is the number of vehicles that are passing that particular point at given interval of time. So with the help of this vehicle video recording, you can have details about the continuous data throughout the year and throughout the day. 365 bar 24 hours data can be collected with the help of the these automatic counting method. But each and every method will have its own advantages and disadvantages, and usually preferably when the accurate data is required, it is preferable to conduct the survey for the throughout the year for 24 hours, and that can be only possible with the help of the automated counting machine. But there are some places where the data are where some places where it is not at all possible for you to conduct the data. Okay, so sometimes we read the quick result is required. We may not have time to wait for the entire year to get the data. So at that time you can even go for the collecting the data for the short duration, and certain adjustments are there, so that can be done to get the to have a more accuracy in the data. So I hope it is clear with everyone what is the purpose of conducting the traffic volume studies and the various methods that are available. So the next is how the analysis will be, the data will be represented. That will be discussed in the next sessions. Thank you, everyone.